Greetings, sirs and madams. I'm Seraphic Zero, and we're not playing Gun Battle Operation. We're actually putting together a model kit. And this is just a quick thing I want to do. It's probably not going to be a usual thing on this channel, but I figured this kit's kind of rare, so I should probably talk about it. And I think I'll do a series of clips and just kind of put it together in one video. So here's your first installment. So this is the high resolution Wing Gundam Zero. That was recently released, and I just had to get this kit because I just love the design of it, and the kit's supposed to have like this crazy amount of detail and articulation. So I figured I'll just like show some progress. Probably not do too much like a video detail of what I'm doing. I'm probably just gonna do a straight build, and then like I normally do, and just do some panel lining. I don't paint or anything like that, but let's just look at a bit of this. So, first of all, the box is freaking amazing. It's just like the print quality on it and the high gloss and the photo detail is just fantastic. Oh, I think you guys can see my reflection in that. It is very glossy. Yeah, don't look at the reflection too hard. It will blind you because nobody wants to look at that. But um, yeah, the detail of the printing is fantastic. The diagrams are great. And weirdly enough, it's like translated into really good English. Hopefully my phone will focus. It probably won't focus. But yeah, perfect English. Not even any grammatical errors. So that's really bizarre for a Bandai product. But yeah, this design was so freaking fantastic, and it for some reason has a Neo Bird mode, which I totally did not expect at all. But yeah, it does that. So yeah, I am a huge fan of Katoki's original or his interpretation of the Wing Gundam Zero, but I always felt the design was a little blocky in places, and so this thing like just totally takes the design to 11 and just gives it so much detail and articulation, and the wings especially are freaking awesome. They have so much detail and movement in them. It's just really, really neat. And I mostly got this kit because, well, I love the design. I hear it's going to be fragile and difficult to pose, which I'm already seeing that just getting through the progress I've got so far. But yeah, I've mostly got to study its design because I draw a little bit, so I just wanted to kind of up my game in terms of that kind of detail. So so the kit comes with a pre-built internal skeleton. It's got really good articulation that I will not demonstrate right now. But yeah, so as you're building this kit, you're just going to attach parts onto it. And I'm sort of wishing that they had let us build the skeleton ourselves because it doesn't honestly look all that hard. There are some metal pieces on it, like on the knees and on the waist. And there are some screws, which, I've built perfect grades before, and they have screws and whatever. Like, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to handle that. Yeah, so this kit's sort of in between real grade and perfect grade, I think. Wait, no, I think master grade. Master grade's above real grades, right? Sorry, I've never actually done a real grade kit before. I mostly do master grades. But yeah, so it's a lot more detail than a master grade. But looking at it now and dealing with the size of the tiny complex parts, I sort of wish that they had made it into a perfect grade. That way we didn't have to hurt our fingers as much. So yeah, just looking at some of the parts right now, I'm gonna stand up so you guys can see how many parts there are. And so it uses a really high gloss plastic, at least for the armor parts. And it looks pretty, but I'm not sure if I like it because one of the main things I liked about Gundam Wing and Endless Waltz was that it was like pre-glossy era like Gundam Seed, and so most of the designs kind of lend well to being a kind of a matte, duller, darker color, sort of like the animation in the Batman the Animated Series. That's kind of how I see Gundam Wing. but this uses a high gloss plastic for its armor, so we'll see how it comes out. So I think in the next clip, yeah, let's go ahead and look at the kit when it's fully put together, but before I do the panel lining. So we'll come back in a jiffy. Hey guys, just a quick progress update on the build of the high resolution Wing Zero. So I've finished all the main armor of the body, and we're just going to look at it a little bit before we start working on the wing binders. So I am absolutely loving the detail on this mobile suit. It is fantastic looking all around, just really gorgeous looking proportions. I really like how they redid like the waist armor. Lots of cool detail, very good articulation all around. And I think my favorite part of the build is probably the armor on the arms and legs. It's got this like organic hexagonal geometry going on, and it is just gorgeous looking. And it's actually something that's those parts of the armor is normally very ignored on most Gundam designs, so I really like that they went out of their way to work on that on this kit. And let's actually move this skirt armor aside so you can look at this thigh armor. Yeah, sorry you have to look at my gross hands right here. Actually, I think we can just swing this back. Yeah, like that. Because weirdly enough, the side of the skirt is actually attached to like the back of the skirt instead of like the hip or something. That's a little weird. But yeah, look at look at that geometry. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that. Anyway, so yeah, the frame's been doing good so far. I really like the articulation and the details. The kit's definitely not as fragile, or the main body's not as fragile as a lot of other people made it out to be. Or maybe that's just my kit. There are some pieces that are loose. God damn it, this will not focus. But yeah, I had to glue the chin, or the little red goatee thing, because it was just falling out all the time. I used this Tester's glue. It dries on clear, so that's good for that. And I haven't had to glue anything else so far. Although this piece right here is very loose. Of course, when I try to demonstrate that, it will not come off. But yeah, it will just fall off real easy like that. And annoyingly enough, the back piece on the skirt armor is also very loose for some reason. And you'd think that would be like a really easy piece to get done right, but they did not do that. But anyway, we'll go ahead and come back when we finish the wings, and then we'll do one last, maybe one last segment for the weapons, and then doing panel lining. But all right, we'll see you in a split second. Okay, guys, let's talk about these wing binders. Oh my god. Okay, so they absolutely knocked it out of the park with these wing binders. They look gorgeous. Oh my god. Okay, so this model of the Wing Zero actually has 6 different wings, technically. And so these are the main vernier binders, and they have excellent parts separation on them. Good color separation, too. And just look how three-dimensional like these binders are. And I especially like how like this piece, it used to be just like a plain metal beam on the original design, but now it's legit like part of the wing too. It looks fantastic. And here's how it looks when it's expanded. Looks great. Look at that. Just very three-dimensional. I love how it just has so much depth, like visual depth. Fantastic. Okay, and these are what I refer to as the shield binders, and this is the part of the wing that's actually been divided into 2 separate wings, technically. Okay, so here's the arm of the binder, and it's got some feather structures on here. It's got like 8 jillion different kinds of articulation. It took like an hour just to explain how much articulation this one wing binder has. But just look at this geometry and the depth on it. Oh my god. yeah, so this was separated into two separate binders, or two separate wings, and I think the wings on top, this top, can I separate this with one hand? Uh, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, these wings, the wings on top, I don't like them as much because they're very flat and they're also very loosey goosey, as you see. Yeah. I think that's the part of the kit that everybody hates because it just fucking falls off and it's very weak. I gotta find some way to, you know, get that more secure on there without gluing it. But I absolutely love the design of the main shield binder right here. Fucking, how do I don't even know how to put it into words. It like makes me have like inappropriate feelings. like I love that. And not only that, it has like transformation too. Um, yeah, so you have all kinds of different parts and stuff popping out of hidden like things. The wings expand to, I guess, get more length. I don't know how this is gonna help like aerodynamically, but I guess the wings get a little longer. And then here are, the upper mini wings, and they have a bunch of stuff that folds out. I don't like how see how the bottom geometry, it just looks like it kind of just looks a bit unnatural because it gets cut off prematurely. I guess those gray feathers right there are supposed to fix it, but it doesn't really fix it all that much. Alright, but yeah, this was a look at the wing binders, and fucking awesome. I'm so excited about this. So I'm gonna I'm gonna stick these onto the Gundam and see how it looks. Alright guys, here is the finished build. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. This kit has just such amazing detail and really great proportions and just really fantastic articulation. In fact, it has so much articulation that you might have some difficulty controlling what exact joint you're trying to adjust when posing. And also, I do have it standing on its own feet right now with, the wings counterbalancing everything going on because this does not come with its own action base. I believe it's compatible with Action Base 1, so I need to go order one of those. I actually just went around town looking for one, but they normally don't really sell those like on their own because this is America and all that type of shit. But yeah, the kit, the very beginning of the build was actually very difficult because I guess some of the parts just didn't feel that they were compatible. Like I was having a hard time getting things to stay in place or getting things to fit in with the skeleton. And these parts are like pointy and sharp, so it was just very painful and frustrating trying to get those parts in. It was kind of reminding me of being with my ex again. So yeah, there's that going on. There are some loose joints that I'm going to be adjusting. I have not built the weapons yet, so I don't know if the skeleton itself is strong enough to support the weapons. And of course, the skeleton is pre-built, meaning you can't really adjust its strength. So that's something that's kind of weird. But I'm going to tighten this rotating thing right here to because that's the absolute loosest part on the entire kit. It just falls off on its own due to gravity. So I bought some clear like coat for nail stuff. I think I hear you can use that to tighten joints. I'm going to do that on those feathers, and I'm also going to use them for how the the binders in the back, how they attach into the backpack. That feels a little loose to me too, so I'm going to tighten that up. All right, so next I'm going to build the weapons. I'm probably not going to do another video clip of that, and then I'm going to do panel lining, which is probably going to take years because this kit just has so much white space and so much detail on that. So I guess I'll do another clip in a few days, but yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Hey guys, let's take a look at some of the weapons for this high resolution Wing Zero. And I have to say, the weapons look great. The shield is, well, first of all, like the regular Wing Zero and the Assaults didn't have a shield at all, but I suppose they felt the need to add it back in. And the design is definitely very sleek and very well defined. And I really like the fact that they went with blue instead of red. It really matches the color scheme of the main mobile suit a lot better. It has these gold fins that kind of fan out like that. And it's attached to the arm, to the forearm by this little like hook thing. And I did do some panel lining on the shield. I think the shield looks fantastic. It even does that like extending like ram thing, the pile driver thing. I don't know if pile drivers are like even effective if they only move that tiny distance, but yeah, there's that. I think the only thing I don't like about this is like all the extra fins like on it. I mean, I guess it makes sense if it's like the nose of an aircraft, but as a shield, like that's gonna get like either instantly sliced off or just get caught on something, which can be good or really bad. And on shields, I really don't like them having like back fins on like this, and I would have removed it, except for this fin is actually how it attaches to the backpack in bird mode, so I cannot do that. Let's look at the Buster Rifles. I think these Buster Rifles look fantastic, and they have all kinds of neat gimmicks to them. What's cool about them is the color differentiation, and weirdly enough, there's lots of browns on this kit, but I've never really expected that to be on a mobile suit, but it looks good. Like it looks really good. And so the rifles, they can connect together. It's going to be hard for me to do that with one hand. But yeah, so they unfold like that, like, and then they hook side by side. And I really like that they have this carrying handle right here that you can extend up. That's never been done before. I think that's great. And these handles, I think they look good when they're folded up like this, but for the mobile suit to hold it, you actually have to fold them back like that, which I think this hook on the end of the handle looks really silly. I really don't like that. They really should have maybe made this longer so it could just, the suit could just hold it by this length right here. That would have been better in my opinion. The beam sabers are pretty standard. They're always going with these curved beams now, which I'm not sure I like. I think I prefer straight beams instead. God, is that homophobic? I don't know. Everything's homophobic now. Yeah, so yeah, these just fit onto the backpack, and yeah, one of these beam blades wasn't fitting very well. Like this section right here is too thin, so I had to make it thicker with the nail varnish, and now it fits well. So. And yeah, also the Buster Rifles can connect to the sides of the shields with these slots, and they can also connect into the skirt with these slots right here, which I guess it's practical, but the rifles are so long that they will run into the ground. They're longer than the Gundam's legs, so I guess that feature is only useful in space. But yeah, that's a look at the weapons. I'm gonna, I don't know, take a day or two to do the panel lining in the mobile suit, and then we'll have our final thoughts. Alright, here's just a quick shot of the Buster Rifles together. Looks really cool. Also, one more feature I forgot to mention is that the stock on the rifle extends out like this. And I'm not sure what that's for. I guess it should give the rifle, like the suit, better leverage on the rifle, but there's nothing on the stock that actually attaches to the forearm or the torso of the mobile suit, so I don't know what good that's going to be, but yeah, there's that too. But yeah, this is a good looking Buster Rifle. Hey guys, we have the panel lining done on the high resolution Wing Zero, and I am absolutely impressed with how this kit looks. So the panel lining did take an absolute shitload of time because there's just so much white space and notches and stuff you gotta fill in. But it looks really good. Yeah, of course, there's like a lot of like work you got to do in the wings too. They get a little complicated because of all the geometry and stuff. Yeah, and I wish I had tightened this joint like right here on top of these binders right here, but I didn't know how loose they were gonna be by the time I had put the wings together, and I do not want to take them back apart to do that, so we're just gonna leave it be. But yeah, I am absolutely adoring how this how the mobile suit looks. It just has excellent proportions and really good geometry, really nice complexity. And you know how like some designs can get complex in a way where it starts to look ugly or just kind of busy and overdone, but this somehow they managed to make it look really natural. So I'm just very impressed by whoever did this design. So we're gonna come back with putting the equipment on. I don't think I'll be transforming it because I don't know. I'm just not really about that. But let's put the weapons on this thing and see how it looks. Okay, and we're back. Holy shit, guys. Yeah, I think we discovered where this kit might have some issues. So I have the shield attached here. The shield works great. Looks really good. Attaches really easily. So it's got a hook onto the forearm, and the hook attaches to the shield on a ball joint. Really good flexibility on that. No issues with the shield. The shield is great. So like on a lot of the Gundam Wing model kits, the hands work on this. I think this part will not focus, but yeah. So you have like one set of hands and then different fingers that you hook into the hands. And I absolutely hate this system because it's just loose and it's weak and it falls apart all the fucking time. And so that's probably the greatest weakness of this kit. The holding hands for the Buster rifle is really weak. I tried for half an hour to get it to hold the rifle, and it likely is completely incapable of lifting the rifle. You'll only be able to have it in this like down position. And so it has a slot that will fit into the handles for the rifle, and then another slot to fit the fingers into the palm. But those things are so loose that I had to apply like a layer of nail varnish to try to tighten that up. But even then, it's still very weak. And even then, like even though I have this attached properly, it seems to be holding the rifle at a very weird angle compared to the forearm. And it's it's like if I were holding a gun, but I were doing this. Instead, the angle is wrong. So it looks really bizarre, and I don't like it. And also the hands for holding the beam saber is completely useless. There's no attachment to the beam saber handle, and it just sits completely loose. There's no way to actually have a proper grip on it. And if you have the blade attached to it, it will be imbalanced and it will fall loose from the hand. Completely useless. You might as well just throw that part away. So, really fucking annoying. So, I think the way I'm going to pose this kit might be with maybe no weapons, maybe just the shield. But I think the main attraction to this thing is the main fuselage and the wing binders. That might be all this kit has going for it. So, yeah, that is pretty frustrating. I wish they would just give you some like sets of different hands that you could attach on instead. I don't know if you can get another set of hands from a different kit because they don't. These hands don't attach to the forearm with a ball joint. It's actually a swivel joint with a lot of different points of articulation. So I don't know if you'll be able to find something else to replace it with. But anyway, guys, let's give some final thoughts on this kit. I would say that there are some frailties to it, so be prepared for that. You might want to look up what they are so you can tighten them up as you build, so you don't have to go back and do that So make sure you get some varnish to tighten some joints. Get some actual glue. Hold on, let me show you the glue I used. I think I already showed it in a previous, but yeah. So this is clear parts cement that will actually dry clear, and I only had to glue one piece, and that was the chin on the faceplate. So you'll have to do that. Some people will choose to glue other parts, but I didn't really find a need for it. But overall, I love the design. I love the articulation and the detail. Proportions are fantastic. Um, they totally fucked up on the hands, making the weapons completely useless. So that makes me very, very sad. But otherwise, design-wise, I think this might be my favorite kit so far. They just really should have focused on its ability to, uh, they should have focused on some strength in the kit to be able to handle its equipment and that type of stuff. And also, the fact that it has a pre-built skeleton is a little weird. I mean, it was fine, but the fact that it's pre-built means that it's gonna be very difficult for you to take that apart and adjust the skeleton in case you want to do any of that, like in case you want to tighten up some joints to make them stronger, stuff like that. It's got some other stuff like these cables that connect the Buster rifle to the backpack. And if you think about it, these cables are actually very thin compared to the mobile suit and the weapon. Um, they probably just should have used something like heavier, at least so it makes sense. Because if it's this thin, the only thing it can really, transport is maybe electricity. Probably not particles or anything like that. But yeah, whatever. Um, yeah, and also a lot of people are reporting that lots of parts of the kit are very loose. And just falling apart. I didn't really find that issue, but I think it might be due to lots of the undergates for the parts, and that is when you break the part out of the runner, there's going to be a little extra plastic on the part, and you have to shave those off. If you don't do that properly, the parts aren't going to fit together very tightly, so make sure you're very careful about taking care of those properly. Otherwise, those are my warnings about this kit. Love the design. The equipment's a little bizarre, but I don't think I'll be posing it with the equipment. But otherwise, I like this kit a lot. I really adore it. But yeah, I think that's all of our thoughts for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.